Having already turned on our lithium iron phosphate batteries by pressing each button individually inside the unit, attaching our 9 feet of extra cables both for the ground and the gun, and we're now in a position where we're ready to pin braze. Now, working ahead, we already created our ground, spot for our ground about yay big, and we've got a spot for our bond about yay big. Now, next thing we're going to do, by the way, when I do work, I don't attach my ground until I'm ready to do my shot, just for safety purposes. So right now I'm going to load my gun. I always, the ejection button in the back, before I always load a gun, I always make sure there's no fuse wire in the gun by pressing the button a couple times. Then I take my, now I like to put the gun on the end, doesn't matter, whatever works and whatever you're most comfortable with, but I take my bullet or my pin, fuse wire first, insert it into the gun, goes into the pin holder, and I take the palm of my hand and I push until it's all the way in. New guns will be a little stiffer, it'll be a little harder to initially get it in, but then it'll eventually be worked in. Okay, you can actually hear the spring. Then I take my ferrule, twist my ferrule in until it's all the way in tight. All the way in tight. Now I'm in a position where I need to adjust my gun and test to make sure my adjustment is correct. I adjust my gun by turning the ferrule holder. But to do that, first I take a flat surface with my bond. You have to do this with your bond. Press down till I can see where the ejection button is. There's a white collar that should be flush. When that's flush here, then I know that I'm set and I'm properly adjusted and I'm able to do my shot. So, I'm properly adjusted. I don't really need to do anything, just quick final adjustment. Double check, yes I'm good. Now, next thing I'm going to do, obviously, put my gloves on for safety purposes. Attach my ground. The magnetic ground. I give it a little wiggle just to make sure it's nice and tight. Now, last thing I do now is I take my rail bond and put my bullet inside the lug. Push it to where I'm going to actually do my shot. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put 2 hands on the gun, push and lean into it so that the spring is nice and tight. You can hear the spring engaging. Push, look away, hit the trigger, hold it for 3 seconds. 1, 2, 3. Wait 3 seconds. 1, 2, 3. Then I pull back straight. Now, what I'm going to do now is knock off my ferrule. Eject my fuse wire. There's my fuse wire. Put the gun down. Knock off my excess. Test my bond. I have a nice tight bond. I've completed my pin braze.